So, our first guest was married to Donald Trump for 14 years. They have 3 children together. In typical Trump fashion, her new memoir is ruffling feathers and making headlines. Please welcome for the first time to our show, Ivana Trump. She watches us every day, so you know exactly where you are.
Yes,
Shoe
exactly.
cam, please.
Okay.
Manolos.
No.
No?
Roger Verbier.
Roger Verbier. Nice. And I like your sensible kitten heel, too.
Yes, you know what? This on the runways in the Dior and Chanel and in the Europe and haute couture collections. And, you know, I cannot walk more than 2 blocks on stilettos. And I love to walk. So this is very sensible.
Look, show them your actual heel height, though. See, flip your feet around.
Okay.
Ivana.
Okay.
Ivana. No, your actual heel, the heel height. Okay. So, and I love your legendary beehive.
Thank you.
I'm a beehive wearer as well. The higher, the better.
Higher, the better, yes.
Yep. You, me, and Patsy from AbFab. We love a beehive.
Thank you.
So,
it is just so convenient.
Yes.
It just goes and it stays for days, and I just touch it up. And it stays, and I just puff it up a little bit more, and it stays.
Do you do it yourself?
I repair it myself. You know, I go to a hairdresser once a week, and then I touch it up and all that. Because, you know, with the hair, I don't know how you ladies with the long hair, you know, you have a bangs over your eye, and it flies in the wind. It goes on the lipstick. I mean, this one, it's untouchable.
I hate that part.
Move.
Did you have to get your ex-husband's permission to write this book?
I really never ask. It's about my life, and it's about how did I raise my fabulous 3 kids. And it came about that people were stopping me on the streets, on the airports, you know, coming to my table in a restaurant, and they say, Ivana, you raised 3 fabulous kids. And yes, I did.
Yeah, you did. You know, I've met all 3 of your kids here on the show, all with their businesses and their intellect and everything. It's really something else that you managed to do that when we're growing up in a time where you see other privileged kids, maybe like the Kardashians, who you briefly mentioned in your book, just saying that they're, well, what are your thoughts on?
You know, with the kids, you know, my first rule was to give them the discipline and structure. You know, they knew they'd wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock they would go to school. You know, they would go after the school, they would go and see their father, you know, to say hello. And he was on the phone, and they were playing in the Lego in the office and listening to his conversations. And then I kept them busy with after-school activities. And I put them Ivanka piano classes, to ballet classes, singing classes. Kids were skiing, they were playing golf, they were karate classes. You keep your kids busy, because they have no time to get in trouble.
Well, yeah, that is very true. Yeah. I've never read it in the New York Post about your kids falling out of clubs or smoking cigarettes or smoking weed.
They would not even think about it. I told them the value not to cheat, steal, and lie, not to take drugs, smoke cigarettes, and surely not the liquor. And you give the second thing which I recommend to the parents: don't give the kids too much money. You know, I have my friends. Wow. They give the kids the unlimited Black American Express card. What the kids do, they have no incentives to get up before 2 o'clock afternoon. Then they go shopping because they are bored, and they have money to buy liquor and drugs and cigarettes. So you don't give them too much money. You give them enough money to go and be able to take a friend for a slice of pizza or buy the hamburger, but that is it.
That is it. You and Donald, are you engaged?
No, no.
You're wearing a ring on the finger.
Yes, I do. I bought it actually for myself.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I can afford it.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
You and Donald were married only after knowing each other for 8 months. Is that
Yes.
correct? How'd you meet him?
Well, it's a very funny story. I was living in Montreal, and I had to go. I was modeling, and I had to go with my group of girls to do the fashion show in New York. And I didn't really want to go because it was in middle of the August, middle of the Olympic Games in Montreal, and I'm Olympian, so I was a hostess for Olympic Games, which summer games, and I was in the Winter Games. And so I didn't want to go, but I had to go because my show was choreographed on music. So if I would not go, I would blow it for everybody else. So I did go, and girls, we went, I think, in Americana at that time. It was first time for me in New York. And the girl said, Ivana, we have to go for dinner. And I said, I really don't feel like it. I said, no, we have to go to the fantastic place called Maxwell's Plum. And it was like a very famous restaurant in New York City. We came there, it was packed. So the manager said, oh, girls, why you don't stand on the bar, have a drink, and I'm going to try to get you the table as soon as possible. I said, we're going to be here all night long because which manager doesn't want to have 8 gorgeous girls on the bar to bring attention to all the men which are cruising around? So we're standing there, and suddenly there is a hand on back of my shoulder. And I really don't like it. So I turn around, and there is this tall, blonde-eyed, blonde hair, tall guy. And he said, my name is Donald Trump.
Now, you knew nothing about what a Trump
I had no idea,
was?
and nobody really knew him
at
that moment. Nobody knew who Donald Trump was. And I said, yes, sir. And he said, girls, I can see that you are waiting for the table. I'm going to get you the table because I know the manager. So I look at my friends, and I said, I have a good news and I have a bad news. I said, what is the good news? I said, good news, we are going to get a table real fast. What is the bad news? I said, this gentleman is going to go and sit with us. So, sure enough, he goes and he sits with us, and end of the dinner, before the coffee, he disappears. So I said, okay, girls, let's go, and we pick up the credit cards to share the bill. And the waiter came around and said, it was taken care of. And I said, excuse me.
So you gave him your number?
Yeah. No. We were just having dinner.
How did he get in touch with you after that?
Okay, let me finish the story.
Okay.
So I said, it was taken care of. I said, I have never seen the man which paid for something and never wanted anything in the return.
Right.
So we walk out, because it was paid for, we walk out, and there is a stretch limousine in front of the Maxwell's Plum. And Donald is behind the wheel of the stretch limo. It was a weekend. His driver was not working. He ran to his garage, picked up the car, and picked us up and drove us to the hotel.
Got you. That's a sweet story.
It's a very nice story.
And 8 months later, you get married, and next thing you know, you've got these beautiful kids. Now, the marriage lasted for how long?
That was almost 16 years.
16 years. All right, 3 beautiful kids. Melania, apparently, and you don't see eye to eye regarding who the original First Lady is?
Well, I tell you, I'm technical First Lady Trump. I was first wife. Excuse me. Okay. I don't know what is Melania's problem. She just has to get over it. She's First Lady of America, but I'm First Lady Trump. Excuse me.
Well,
I have 3 grown-up kids.
And the interesting thing that I found about this, because Ivana is promoting a book, and she lives a quiet life, except when I see you on yachts in bathing suits with young men.
Okay.
All right, it's not that quiet.
No, that's not bad.
But that's a good thing. But, I'm surprised that Melania clapped back.
I have no idea why she jumped on the whole thing. I have no idea why she did it, because I never said I'm First Lady of America.
Her clapback was something...
better her than me, frankly. I like my... Her
clapback was something to the effect of that Ivana's doing this for a publicity stunt to sell her book. I don't think that you needed to sell. You were just talking.
You write a book. You promote it. I mean, it's normal. It's a business.
What kind of father was Donald when the kids were growing up?
Donald was very loving. He loved his kids. But he was not a father which would... And he was, good provider, of course. But he was not a father which would do choo-choo-nyo-nyo-nyo-nyo, choo-choo-nyo-nyo, and take them to the center park on stroll or take them to do some kind of game or something. You know, he would love them, but he did not know how to speak to them in the children way of thinking. So he was able to speak to them only when they came from university, when eventually he was able to speak business with them.
Yeah.
You know, but otherwise he really did not know how to handle the kids.
Is it true that he offered you $250,000 per child that you would sire him with?
No way, no.
Okay, that's not true.
No.
350?
Yeah.
Do I have the number wrong, or he didn't pay you per child? It was just...
After the divorce, he paid child support, yes.
Yeah, child support. And you were also a very, Ivana was a very accomplished woman even before they got divorced. I seem to recall reading that it was like a one lump payout. You know, the newspapers here in New York followed everything, like a 1 month or one lump payout to you, aside from the child support. Is there any truth to that?
Well, I did get, you know, I got the, I don't think what I deserved, because when I met Donald, he was working for $75,000 for his father, and when I divorced him, he was a billionaire. And I was with him, you know, I built up the Commodore Hotel, Grand Hyatt Hotel on 42nd Street.
And
I
the
built
plaza.
up the Trump Tower. I ran the casinos, 3 casinos in Atlantic City. I was flying for 8 years every morning on the helicopter, you know, at 8 o'clock in the morning to Atlantic City, and I would come back at 5, 6 o'clock at the evening at a dinner with the kids and go for a rubber chicken, you know, dinner, you know, black tie dinner parties and stuff like that. So I really contributed so much to him.
Was he hard-nosed during the divorce proceedings? Like we were reading, he was giving you real ajna over this divorce.
My divorce was really brutal. It took 2 years, and Donald took the divorce as a business. And he cannot lose. It was like a business deal for him. No matter that I was mother of his 3 children, he just took it as a business and he could not lose. So it was tough.
You know, I saw him one time in the car. I was in a vehicle that was up higher, and he had an Acura. It was like a really fast Acura, like the first year they came out. This is back in the early 90s. And he was with Marla in the car, and he was married to you. And we had no idea. You know, John Q. Public had no idea what was going on behind the scenes. Marla Maples, according to the book, you still don't get along with her, even though it's been over 20 years.
I'm not going to discuss Marla Maples or the Shogun. Not a chance.
You said her name in the whole book. Ivana, it's funny, she calls Marla Maples a showgirl the whole time. Well, look, I find you fascinating.
Thank you.
And I wish that we can continue with this conversation. Oh, pictures and everything. Oh, you guys, you have to get this book. It's called Raising Trump. It's in stores now. Thank you so much, Ivana.
Thank you.